Hi everyone, my name is Leah Swanberg and I'm the founder of Egg Helpers, Canada's largest egg donor agency. We have been operating for 20 years and it is my pleasure to share with you not only my lived experience as a donor, but my lived experience helping thousands of people become parents through egg donation. During today's webinar, I'm going to briefly touch on a few pieces of information that I think over the last almost 20 years, I have gleaned as important, and I hope that you will as well. If you are on this webinar, I imagine that you are exploring ways to build your family, whether through IVF for yourself with an egg donor or IVF with a gestational carrier and an egg donor. As you begin to look at egg donation or egg donation and surrogacy, I want to suggest that the first stop or the first place that you visit is a fertility clinic. For many that are exploring egg donation, it is based on a health requirement or a medical suggestion based on either your inability to produce healthy eggs due to age or a medical condition, or based on the recommendation of your doctor because you are two men or one man and you need eggs in order to have a baby. When we look uh, at IVF or in vitro fertilization, we know that there are always two factors. There are the egg and the sperm. And so while many people who know they need an egg donor just imagine that, I should find the egg donor and then find a clinic and, go in that order. And really, it's so important that not only the egg provider be tested. So whether it's an egg donor or you yourself have gone through testing and know that you need an egg donor, also the sperm provider, because we have had many cases where, our clients go to a fertility clinic, they've picked out an egg donor only to find out that they also require a sperm donor. So checking in with your family doctor about a fertility clinic in your area or connecting with us at Egg Helpers so that we can suggest a fertility clinic that we know does a great job, that we know cares for patients in a very meaningful way, whether that is in your community or outside of your community. For us, a fertility clinic could be on the moon if it's the right clinic that is going to take care of you and really understand your needs as the patient. So you've checked all the boxes. You know that either your sperm is able to be used, or you're picking out a sperm donor, or you're moving forward with this process. And so as you begin to explore egg donation, it's really such a personal and unique experience that we suggest finding people in community who have gone through this process already and will be able to share their experiences with you. We also at Egg Helpers have a psychotherapist who works with us, who, for many intended parents, as they're exploring egg donation and they begin to look at the website and begin to look at potential egg donors, they will tell us, I'm starting to feel a lot of emotions, some excited, some anxious. And so um, it's really important as those feelings come up to have a soft place to land. And so Sam is available to all of our clients to talk through what might be coming up for you as you're selecting a donor. So you have found some people to lean in and connect with in community. You maybe have talked to Sam, our psychotherapist, around things that are coming up for you as you begin your search. And now it's time to begin the search. There's so much information with ChatGPT, with Facebook, with the internet. And what I'm going to say might sound counterintuitive to what you've heard, and it's to turn off the noise. to not chat GPT this, not go to Facebook about this, but to really turn inward to, um, I call it envision your best day. So, it's almost like a mindfulness or a meditation around your best day. And so when it comes to an egg donor, often as I'm guiding people through this meditation, it is your ideal donor is she shows up for you how. And so that might be my ideal egg donor is blonde. My ideal egg donor, and I say to repeat this 10 times because it will just come to you what it is that would make this person part of your perfect day. And so, is this donor anonymous? So you would never know who she is? Is she known to you? And known has a few different ways of being. So known could be that you know her at the time, of the match. Semi-known would be you could know her in the future. And when you do that exercise of, who is my donor? My donor is. And the known versus anonymous piece, I think for a lot of people can bring up a lot of feelings of, I should do the right thing, and that is. And I will tell you, having been a donor 6 times, having watched my adult children donate several times, the 3 girls that I have that are grown-ups, we have all donated differently, and every intended parent I meet goes through this process differently as well. And so, um, there is a big difference between secrecy and privacy. And I really want to encourage you to get curious about what that means for you. Secrecy, maybe you're never going to tell anyone. And when this donor conceived child grows up to be a donor conceived adult, they go on 23andMe and find out the secret of their life. Maybe private would be, you make this a part of your child's story and that it's a story that we talk about at home. So there's a unique difference. And I really want to encourage you to get curious what that difference would be for you. When you're thinking about a donor, is it someone who looks like you, who maybe has the same hobbies as you, has the same university major as you? Is it someone who's had children? For myself, having donated after I'd had kids, it was important for me to give back in a way. And so egg donation was a really sweet way for me to say, motherhood has been so important to me. I have great kids and I want other people to experience that. And so my donations were built on that. And so for some people, having an egg donor who has already had children and is a mom, or has been a donor and there has been a child born, which gives some level of comfort in that we know that the we know that the eggs work. I mean, listen, there's so much testing that goes ahead of the egg retrieval. And so prior to being matched with the donor, testing has been done and the clinic has assessed her as a suitable donor, which would mean that there are eggs there to extract. Um, but in that, it's really important to look at, has she donated before? What were the results? Does she have kids? Okay, check, we know. And to also not discount a donor who is 21 years old, doesn't have kids, and is just starting as a donor. The testing is really is there to tell you what the what her egg quality is, what her egg count is. And a clinic is not going to accept a donor who is not going to be able to have enough eggs to participate as a donor. So you can leave that with the clinic. For others, it is they are looking for a donor with the same blood type. They are looking for a donor that has the same ethnic background as they do. And all of that is completely acceptable and, really the norm. So if you are thinking, hey, I have blue eyes. I'd like to have a kid with blue eyes, and my partner has green eyes. And so I know like picking a donor with blue eyes. And that doesn't mean you're never going to tell your kid that they were donor conceived. What that means is it would be nice to have a kid that looks like you, possibly. And so, you know, as you're making these decisions, if you are partnered, my suggestion always is to log into the website, um, like to log into the donor database that you're looking at, whether it's Egg Helpers or somewhere else, and both of you log in separately and save your favorites, and then compare. Did we like, one person in common? Did we like 10 people in common? And why did we pick them? So, did you pick them because they're located close to your clinic and budget is important? Did you pick them because they look similar? Are you both engineers and she's an engineer, this donor? Everyone comes to those decisions themselves. And so, really important to look at, yeah, to look at, you know, who you would pick versus who your partner would pick. Um, really, really, yeah, there's something there. We find a lot of intended parents accidentally, on purpose, inadvertently choose the same donors, and it makes it a lot easier. It's when people choose completely different donors that the conversation um, and negotiation often begins. Working with Egg Helpers, you will have a referral to a lawyer for you, as well as a lawyer for your donor. It's so important for us that your donor understands that once she donates her eggs, they are yours, and once she donates the eggs, they are yours. So you can't give them back to her. You can't ask her for child support. She can't ask for the eggs back from you. They are gone from her and transferred over to you and are, for lack of a better word, your property at that point. And so ensuring that in your legal agreement, pieces around the process, is it known? Is it anonymous? What expenses are you covering during the egg donor process? What expectations do you have of the donor throughout the process? Is it following the doctor's orders or the clinic's orders? Is it that that the clinic has seen her ID and that they know that she is the person that that signed up as a donor and that was on the database, and they're going to match that? Whatever those pieces are that the legal agreement is um, going to contemplate that. If you are in a country outside of Canada, it's really important to have a legal agreement that has a couple of lines around the law where you live. So, for many of our European clients, there has to be a link back to the donor. So, even if she is anonymous, there has to be a way to reach her. So, that is typically through the fertility clinic, and that is enough for the European government. And so the lawyer that we refer you to will be able to walk you through all of that to ensure that when you travel home, if you have a surrogate, that all of those pieces are covered in order for you to be recognized as parents where you live. The next piece is you've picked the donor, you have a legal agreement, and now it's time to begin at the clinic. We want to make sure that you're as educated as you can be as you go through the process of egg donation as intended parents. So, we're going to suggest that you really stay connected with your nurse, stay connected with your fertility doctor, so that all of the pieces as they come into place, that you're kept up to date, that the clinic is letting you know your donor has this many eggs, your donor has the potential for this many eggs. And my rule of thumb always is at day 7 or day 8 of the stimulation process. So, the process that stimulates her ovaries to create multiple eggs. On that day, you talk to your nurse and you say to her, hey, I know we're halfway there, because typically the retrieval is around day 14, day 15. I know we're halfway there, and I'd like to know how many eggs the doctor thinks we could get. It's important because if they say, well, the cycle isn't going so well, or, oh, we're not sure, Really important to get clear on that because that kind of is the point where the clinic will know and you'll be able to get some good data on how things are going. The egg donor goes to the clinic every day or two for those 14 days until the retrieval. And from there, she goes under, in Canada, it's a twilight sedation, where her eggs are retrieved. The doctor will likely call you on that day to tell you how many eggs were retrieved, and then they will begin to watch the eggs turn into embryos, get to day 5, day 6, at which time many fertility clinics offer pre-genetic diagnoses of the embryos, or PGTA, which is testing to look for chromosomal abnormalities and issues that could impact the health of your child to be. And so really important to talk to your clinic if they offer that testing and if that's something you're interested in. Once the embryos are created, they're frozen and they wait for whether it is you to carry them or for a gestational carrier to carry them. Many people who are working with a surrogate, many women who have a surrogate, ask if the surrogate is going to know that they have an egg donor. And the answer is yes, and it's good news because we know that the success with a young, healthy egg donor is higher than most of our intended mom or intended parent population. And so surrogates are really interested and really keen on working with people who have an egg donor and sort of the highest chance of success of IVF. And so the surrogate will know, and there's a line in the contract about it, but it's really a non-issue. If you are intended fathers and you're watching this video, most clinics will suggest to have the donor donate and each dad contribute, and half the eggs go to one dad, half the eggs go to the other dad. And then from there are 2 batches of embryos that are kept separate, one for John, one for David. And that way, if you are in a clinical setting that offers a guarantee 1+1, which would be a one baby from each dad. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. If you're in a clinical setting that offers a guaranteed 1+1 or one baby from each dad, then they will have embryos for both of you. And typically the first transfer is of the best embryo, either dad 1 or dad 2. And then the second pregnancy would be the alternating dad. And if you didn't want to know who the sperm provider was, the clinic can keep that in an envelope and keep that safe to provide to your lawyer should it be needed for any court documents post-birth. We have, over the years, helped thousands of people build their families this way, and it really is just so sweet. I am in touch with many of the parents of the children that I was a part of creating through egg donation, and hearing them share about their lives as parents because I was able to help them is just so special. And I really want to encourage you as potential parents or intended parents who are considering egg donation. Having been a donor, I can tell you this. There is no such thing as my kids. And I have the absolute pleasure of sharing my life with the kids that call me mom. And it's a blessing, such a blessing. And the kids who I helped create through egg donation, they call someone else mom, or they call someone else dad if they have 2 dads. And that is the definition for me. Who is this child calling mom, and who is this child calling dad? Those are their parents. And while egg donation was a profound experience for me that helped shape our business, that helped shape me as a mom because I had kids again after my last egg donation, I will tell you that it is such a blessing to be able to support intended parents through this process. And I look forward to connecting you with the team at Egg Helpers or connecting with me directly. Egg.helpers is who we are on Instagram. And I would love to connect with you there or through our website. I hope that that information was enough for you to get curious about some questions that you may have for yourself around participating in this process. I hope that you have a great evening and thank you for joining me today.